Yes, we are. Yes, we are live. This wonderfully rainy, shitty Wednesday morning. Aloha, greetings from Nakusp, British Columbia, Canada. On this rainy, miserable, rainy day. But at least when it rains and got cloud, it's warmer. So it's about, I don't know, 7 or 8 degrees outside. Maybe, I don't know, what, 40 degrees, 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Archie, good to you. Wow, 22F. It was below freezing in New York? Like 22 Fahrenheit? My daughter sent me a picture from New York City. Was it last week? And they were having like they got really, was it really warm last week for a bit? Yeah. Wow. It's just been miserable here for the last, I don't know. I can't even remember. I can't remember when I saw this. Like yesterday, we had about 30 seconds of sunlight. There was a break in the patterns, and and it wasn't direct sunlight. You couldn't see the sun, but you could see blue. And then all of a sudden, wow, who turned the lights on? Fuck. But man, it is gray. Like you can see, like that's how dark it is. You can see outside. Normally, if it's bright, right, you can't see. That's bleached out. So you can see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. JC, good to see you, brother. Good to see everybody. Hola, hola. Hola, buenos días, buenos días. ¿Cómo te va? Yeah. And then she went to Arizona for a show in Arizona, and then sent me a picture of her hotel room in Arizona, man, like just outside by the pool, like blue skies, nothing but blue sky, like beautiful. But Arizona, it's a desert, I guess. She says like it'll be 25 in the day, or 75 or 80 degrees in the day, and then bam, at night it goes drops to like 40 degrees. So yeah, camping must be really fun. But Remembrance Day for here. We'll talk about that. Remembrance Day here on Monday. That's why I put the thumbnail as me with my medals and my smiling face with the chief and another fellow that served. Yeah, we had Remembrance Day. You guys call it Memorial Day or Veterans Day, I believe. I can't remember which one it is. I hope yours went well. I hope. I don't know if you guys know anybody who served, or if you served, or if you have family or whatever. But yeah, yeah, no worries, man. I enjoyed my service. I enjoyed my service time. I did. I had a really great trade, though. I mean, in all honesty, like I can't, being a deep sea Navy diver, clearance diver, explosive ordnance disposal, Bud SEAL, if you want to call it, that's about as close as I could make a comparison to what you guys have down there. Working with your American divers down in Eglin, um, Panama City, Eglin. Was it Eglin? I see my memory shot. I think it was Eglin. Niceville, Valparaiso area. I enjoyed it very much. As much as people might rail on the Americans and such, you guys are 10 and 1. Your technology, your toys, your toys for big boys. If you're into that kind of stuff, like I mean, technology's technology, right? So I mean, we had some good shit in the Canadian military, but working with your guys, it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. It was interesting to see them say my last name. That's for sure. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, uh, yeah, those were good days. Those were yeah, it was such a great time. Like you know, what are we doing today? Well, we're going to go in the water. You know, yeah, there was boring times when because I was a navigator's yeoman on the boat, so that I had to go do chart corrections, and I would have to sit in the office for a couple days doing bullshit admin. I hated those fucking days, but yeah. Still, the wife is. We're still talking about. I know everything's looking good for me to go. Money wise. For me, it would only be if somebody decides to ruin the world, and that would be the only factor that would stop me from going. But like unless the bird flu takes off or whatever, they're pimping that. We can talk about that. I forgot to write it down. But yeah, they're pimping that. They're pimping a lot of things right now. So, but for lack of a better plan or whatever, it looks good to go to Ecuador again this year. Now, whether the wife goes or not, I don't know because she's changing jobs, starting new jobs, and things are changing. So she's going to try, and yes, I will feel bad to go alone, but it's something that I've always done, and the family down there is expecting me. Yeah, and there's a psychological thing about the military and prison. There's a term for it. I can't remember the term exactly, but there's a term for when you serve your time. You know, yeah, you because like I've been to jail. I've never been to prison, but I've been to like jail time. So and when you're a prisoner to the system, you're under the thumb constantly. I mean, we used to laugh. I did some military jail time too, and I did some the you don't want to do military jail time. That was real hell, because you have no rights. I mean, but yeah, there's a comparison psychologically. So you can work under pressure, as it were. Like if you can survive the prison system and still come out, with your gray matter intact, and if you can survive the military prison system and come out with your gray matter intact, it's a big deal. But it changes you. I'm like I said, I've never done prison time, you know, but you sign a contract involuntarily that you're going in for 10 years or whatever. You live under a system, and it's not, psychologically speaking, it's not dissimilar. Different. I mean, you still get drunk in prison, I hear, and I don't know the ins and outs. I have a friend that did some 6 months just most recently, a couple 3 years back, for DUI, and he would call me. He'd get his phone calls, and he'd call his mom, of course, and everything like that. But it's a system, you know, and you learn the system fast, or you don't survive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Remembrance Day here was a very good Remembrance Day. It fell on a Monday, so it worked out good for the long weekend aspect of it because we had a great turnout, and it was a normal, I'll use that term, normal, traditional Remembrance Day. I don't know if you guys, what happened for you guys down in the States, but we had some political shenanigans with ours in certain areas where it's a little bit more liberal, I will say. I'll use that term generously and kindly. But in places where you have a certain demographic that that is not on board with that kind of. So in other cities, Remembrance Day was hijacked as a political thing when all it should be is remembering the people that have served and died. Yeah, I served and everything, but I'm still here. But I have a friend who's lost friends in combat, and I have lost friends in my trade. One was in Afghanistan. It wasn't in direct combat, but it was indirect. And I had a friend I lost in training during a training exercise while we were trying to prove a new piece of equipment. Things go badly. So that's what the day is for, and that's all it's for. It's for, like, if my memory serves, and correct me if I'm wrong about Remembrance Day, but I think I'm pretty right. It was formulated or came to be because the women were pissed, or something about, hey, look, we just lost a whole generation of people. We lost fathers, brothers, and I'm not going to argue the inclusiveness of the DEI stuff about today, because there's women serving in a combat scenario. I don't think in combat, but you know what I'm saying. But back in the day, World War One, World War Two, it was predominantly men. It was predominantly fathers, brothers, uncles, blah blah blah, and we lost a whole bunch of people, and they were like, okay, this has got to stop. That was stupid. We got to remember this. You know, all that stuff. Yeah, World War One, the war to end all wars. I guess we must have, like, yeah, lesson learned the hard way is obviously not a lesson learned forever, because that was a shit show. There was a young lady at the ceremony for us, and she had won a contest on a essay she had written about World War One, and that was because there was no real tech then. It was guns, bombs, man on man. I don't even think tank technology was at its in World War One. Horses, like if you were to calculate how many horses, donkeys, and dogs died in World War One, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was just the trench warfare. I mean, now it's another. There was a drone strike. What the hell? We lost a robot. So I'm not, but I'm not trying to make light of it. Yeah, it was Yeah, I believe it was from World War One. It was called Armistice Day, if I'm not mistaken. If my history is still working in my brain, so yeah, it was like that. Yeah. There was. Uh, but do they, when you say do they feel like me? Do you mean like I'm proud of my service, or do they feel mad or anything like that? No, it's to remember the fallen. That's it. It's to remember the fallen. I don't like it being used as a rah rah cheer. In a sense, I don't get upset when people come up and thank me for my service or whatever, but it's about the ones that died. I got my wooden sword. I made it. Good, for the grace of God go I. But it's for the ones that didn't make it, and that's for to be, and to remember how shitty it was, and we shouldn't be doing it anymore. That's what I take away from it. We shouldn't be doing it anymore. I mean, crap. Are we ever going to stop killing each other for nothing, for a piece of land, or because my ideology is different than yours, or I'm a Catholic, you're a Protestant, I'm a this, you're a that? It seems pretty infantile. And I'm, like I said, I'm not taking away, but it just seems like, you know, killing each other is really, it's passe. We should move on. We should stop killing each other. you know you come in my house to do harm to my wife or my children, and I have to dispatch you with extreme prejudice. That's a different story. But for just like, if we're to think about just one of the biggest conflicts most recently, World War II, or Vietnam, or Afghanistan, or Iraq, or whatever, We did that at the behest of some other entity. Yeah, like, if it was really like Star Trek and the captain and all the main players had to go down, that's why Star Trek doesn't work, because they'd be greased right away and then, oh, we need a new captain. But if that was the case, like we have like we made rules. Rules? Yeah. That's yes. Oh, absolutely. I read an article about that. I don't know, 10 years ago. All wars are banker wars. What's that? The family name that seems to have banked a lot of them. I mean, if we look at our history and we see who did business with whom, World War II, Pappy Bush, uh, uh, World War, I think World War II also, the Royals, part and parcel. Like, it's just like when you watch stupid Hollywood movies like fucking Braveheart. Even, yeah, my son will marry the French princess so we can get more land and we'll have peace, but it'll be an intermingling and mix the bloodline. I'm just pulling that out of my ass. I know it was only a movie, but still, there's things done. Like right now, like I imagine that if, let's say, we go to a conflict, that there'll be a meeting between the supreme leader and Putin and Trump and not JT, because he's not worth a pinch of shit. Important people, I would say, and they'll make some kind of deal or something, and they'll say, okay, let's go. Then they'll roll the fucking dice, and you and I will be the ones. Oh, gee whiz, we lost 10,000 people. Oh, okay. Well, we won't do that again, but we will. So, yeah, it'll be I don't know. And then we've got shit disturbers, in there, just want to bring the whole house down. The Samson option, you know. I was watching. I don't know if you guys were watching it. My buddy sent me a link this morning around 9 o'clock, and I was watching the UFO, some kind of UFO hearing in America. They had a couple of people, a couple suits, and a panel and questions and everything like that. And I said, and they're going back about the UAPs and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I take it with a grain of salt. I love alien stuff. I love science fiction. I like science fiction, science fact. But here, the only takeaway I had from it is, like, they were going, does it exist? Does it, is it a national security issue? I was laughing. I was like, you know what? If I was an alien, I would stay the fuck away from this planet. Yeah, it was this morning. I watched it on Twitter. It was live. It ended like half an hour before I started the show. The only one I recognize it is there was some senator or congressman, and he's the bald-headed guy with the drawl and talks like this, and y'all, brother, and I love the way he talks. He's in a lot of YouTube videos, but my takeaway is that it was a complete distraction. If aliens exist, and I'm not going to argue it. This is not, like, because I do believe in life out there. I do believe that they're probably all living on Europa, or they're on the dark side of the moon, or whatever it could be. I don't have any evidence to say the Nazis could be over there, like in what was that movie, Iron Sky? Great movie. But you know what? You really want to go on Joe Rogan? Aliens, call them up. We're beaming in and have it all live. And then there you go. We'll take it from there. But I think one of the panelists said it, like, why are we hiding it? Why are we doing this? And it would change our lives. It would change everything that we know or everything that we hold dear. And if I can quote Star Trek again, if you remember the not the movie, but there was an episode Will Riker goes down and he disguises himself as one of the, and then they're trying to get the bead on people in this planet, and the security guy, the national security guy goes, he's a religious zealot or whatever, so he's like, no, we can't do it, it'll, and it's as simple as that. It would change the way we do business. Oh yeah, but it would absolutely change the taste of our milk if all of a sudden in my backyard they landed and it was out there for everybody. It would change everything, and it would probably cause mass hysteria and die-offs or suicide or whatever. I'm not going to argue the ups and downs of it. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the. We'll talk about the big T man and some of his appointments, and all of a sudden I'm like, but holy shit, what was the election last Tuesday? We had a show Wednesday. My mouth is agape at the shit that is coming out on the internet about that day. Like, people's cheese has come flying off the cracker. It hasn't slid off the cracker. It has been doink. It has been shit canned. Oh yeah, it's absurd to think that we're the only. But there again, like, I'm Star Trek, right? So I always default to we're bipedal, carbon-based creatures, which we are. But who fucking knows what they are? And I can Star Trek when Trip gets on a planet with this other guy, and he hands him water, and the guy starts spitting it out, and then the guy hands him his canteen, and Trip's like, what are you trying to do, poison me? They could drink fucking battery acid for all we know. Yeah. And there again, just by listening to how we are as emotional creatures by the TDS, if we can use that term, or just the abject, like the Aqua Tofana stuff, and I'm not going to argue, but like, yeah, aliens show up and, hi, everything is bullshit, or here's the tapes, here's this or that, and absolutely crush. Governments will fall, dogs will eat cats, like mass hysteria. What is it, Bill Murray? Dogs and cats sleeping together, mass hysteria. It would be just insane. But I'm of the opinion, fuck it. Let the chips fall where they may. Let it go. If this breaks because of what you tell me, oh well. It was nice to know you, Michael. Sorry that you're over in the corner chewing a razor blade now, but we have other fish to fry right now. Maybe it'll stop us killing babies and drinking their blood, or I'm pulling that out of my ass. But you see what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's the next step. I don't know. Because what we're doing right now, this fucking model right now, whatever it is shit. It's a shit model. It's a shit matrix. That's why I laughed when I watched The Matrix the other day, and Mr. Smith is like, you guys define yourself through misery. Yeah, we seem to be doing that. And we can't seem to get our shit together and make it any better. I don't have the answer. That much I know. I'm too rigid. I'm too black and white. I'd love to be more gray, but it's hard. And believe me. So I just look at the shit stain that's going on right now, because this fucking model does not work. Pardon my French. This video is not for children. I should always preface that. Yeah. We're being played. That's why, right? We are being so played. And even myself, I'll get hooked into something and I'll get, you got me again. Damn you, gravity. So yeah, the TDS or whatever on steroids or whatever. I don't really care. All I know is that It didn't go well for some. Yeah, clown world. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Idiocracy. Clown world. Like it feels like we're being trolled as a planet. Like it almost seems like there's a this is just a big experiment, like in Star Trek when the Enterprise and then Picard finally picks up and he goes, I feel like we're in a test tube here and we're being played with. And then the face appears on the screen, Nagilum, and I'm like, wow, it almost feels that way. Let's see what happens next, you know. Watch what they do now. Ha 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 ha. Maybe there is a planet with greeting Shadowburn. Is that Shadow? Yeah, hey man, haven't seen you in a while. Maybe there is a planet with just absolute comedians on it. And their whole thing is they get off on humor and they find this funny. Or sad funny, funny sad, whatever. We've all done it to ants, and they're walking in a line and you drop you put something, you put gas or you burn it. Look at them, they're all going around. I hope it's not that, really. I hope not. I hope this is some kind of training ground that we're trying to learn something. I hope. I can only hope. I just don't know. I don't know enough. I'm glad I'm just a stupid monkey, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah, of mice and men. I don't think men had anything to do with it, but I think it's all the clues are in everything that we see today to figure out, to how to make. I think we have it all within ourselves to make it better. I just think that because we have so many different types of people on the planet, that we've got a group that's for whatever reason they're in charge, and they're in it for their own, so they can have more gold. I don't know, it just seems like that. Yeah, I'm waiting for January 20th. Is that the day? Is January 20th the day? I'm hoping everything. It seems to be really weird right now. Like I could talk just about the real world, if you want to call it the real world, the picks that he's made for cabinet, and I'm like, well, that doesn't seem like a good idea. And I'm like, okay, and once again, the rhetoric about the sandboxes is still going on. Like, you know what? Like I said in the last show, we need to mine our own gardens. We need to mine our own onion patches. And yeah, yeah. We need to, clean our own houses right now before worrying about somebody else's house. Like we say in the program, take your own inventory. Do your own gardening. Don't worry about my weeds. So right now, all the shit that's going on around the planet, busybodying ourselves with other people's bullshit, needs to fucking stop immediately. Tomorrow, yesterday, this moment. If that can happen, for whatever reason, like, mass forgiveness, and then just move on. I know that sounds really childish, but it needs to stop. It must stop. If we have any hope for ourselves, it must stop, because we've been doing it forever and it doesn't work. If we've proved anything, that's why I know that this system is insane, because we're doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result every time we do the same thing over and over again. That is one definition of insanity. Just crazy. Just crazy. Yeah, the Aqua Tofana. Some of these videos that are coming out right now are absolutely insane. Have you seen the ones where they're shaving their heads and I'm going to swear off sex for 4 years. Most of them, I'm very happy about that. Good on you. Way to take one for the team. Fuck. It's just like, whoa, really? Wow. I've done some crazy things in my life, you know. You know, uh yeah. Yeah, the Aqua Tofana. You see, I don't even know what to make of that. I don't know that if that, like, I can't believe it, for one. I can't believe that somebody would actually make a video saying, "Hey, yeah, you know, showing the ring with like the secret compartment in it." And I'm like, "Are you for real?" Like, you know, there should be, "Hello, Mrs. Insanity," or whatever. Yeah, did you put out a video that you were going to poison people? It clink clonk off to the prison. I mean, really? I guess their cheese has come off the cracker. You know, why'd you shoot him? Well, he was a Trump supporter. Well, that's not a good defense. Sorry, clink clink off to prison. You know, like, you know, why'd you do it? You know, well, you know, he took my parking spot. My fries were cold. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have that answer, man. I don't have that answer. I do not have that answer. But it is, I have to say that I have been amused by some of the stuff that has come out. I think a lot of it is completely contrived, of course, because somebody made a video and they were making an observation that, do you really get your phone set up on the tripod and get all your lighting and your set like done right, and then uh, uh, do your meltdown? That's scripted. That's not, you know, you've seen the videos of people losing their shit, stomping around in the because somebody else is taking the video and they're doing something and everything. That's that, I can buy that for $1. But when it's, it's narcissism at 100, over the top narcissism, narcissistic behavior of, look at me, virtue, whatever, shaving your head, and this is what I'm going to do. And yeah, okay, thanks, man. Thanks. So now, so now when any normal male, if you want to find normal males, whatever, are walking around looking for their next wife or looking for their next girlfriend, whatever, they're not going to be dating or trying to date these people. So yeah. And somebody made a joke video or what, I can't remember what it was, but it's saying like, yeah, there's going to be no more liberal births and there's just going to be a whole bunch of like conservative births, like, yeah, yeah, days, if not hours. Yeah, every day it changes, even with the UFO hearing. Didn't I hear like, what's her name? She hid for a whole bunch of days. She didn't come out until Memorial Day. And when I looked at the videos of her and the old guy, wow, somebody looked really, really sad. But yeah, days, if not, yeah. Uh, Trump met Biden, so that's been going on. All the show must go on. Like, we've that's a Pink Floyd song, the show must go on. There's a script going on. There's a script that's still, they're still adhering to the script, even though it's falling away. I mean, look at what's happening with the mainstream media outlets right now. Like, when I go on now to the mainstream media outlets, I'm just talking about CTV and CBC and the ones here in Canada. Nobody believes your bullshit anymore. Nobody believes your bullshit anymore. If they didn't believe it before, now they're really done. Even the ones that were on board with that, and they're not even making comments because they just feel like, oh man, we just been, you know, like any narrative that comes out right now, is slanted and it has a slant. Yeah, Yeah, like the script goes on. The bird flu is the next thing. I was just going to talk about that. The next whatever, and then I read the article this morning. I've yet to vet it. I don't know what it is, but according to some Dutch uh, parliamentary person, she got up and she started talking. Yeah, well, we had to follow NATO, and then you think about it, and then I read through the article, and then oh yeah, because we were all lockstep in that shit sandwich. Everybody seemed like, if you remember the cut somebody made with all the news outlets always saying the same thing over and over again, all scripted and everything like that. Yeah, we're running. There's a script running. There's a script. There's a certain group that is still going with the script. Meanwhile, I think that there are other players that are like, okay, this script has got to be shit canned. Rewrite it. It's shit. Rip, 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 rip. We need a new script. We need something else, but the script is still going. I mean, I just read an article that we've had our first case in Canada of the flu, and he's dying. And I'm not taking away from if somebody is going to expire from something, but it's in the narrative. One person, one. How many of us on this marble? 8 billion? One? One? Okay. Okay. Everybody with a half of schmick of common sense should say, what the hell? Well, that doesn't make any sense. But for one thing, I can say for sure, if I'm to believe all the stuff, although the View is still on TV, that was funny to watch. Thank you, The View. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very entertained by watching that panel of crazy people. I shouldn't make fun of them though, because they're nuts. They're completely nuts. I don't know if I don't know why they're nuts. I don't think it's a naturally occurring thing. I think they've been made crazy, or they've been co-opted in some manner of speaking, that you must say this or else, you'll be paraded and pilloried, or whatever, public shaming. Anyway, I don't know what to say, but thank you, View. Thank you for giving some of us a lot of entertainment, especially the one kook, not Whoopi Goldstein. Um, oh, I loved what Roseanne. I can't even repeat it here on the YouTube, but what Roseanne Barr said about Whoopi Goldstein, Karen, whatever her name, and Karen Smith, or whatever her real name is. I don't even know, but she has a certain kind of mask on. I don't know. But the other one, Sunny Houston, like that one was really, and that was really. Thank you for bringing us all some entertainment. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, the NATO and the lockstep. So there is a script going on, and I hope that we can extricate ourselves from the script somehow. I hope that something can happen, that the script gets shit canned. What were you meaning when you said YouTube didn't flag it, Archie? Not a surprise. Flag what? Was it something that I said, or one of my videos, or some other video? I must have missed that. I missed that comment. Yeah, we're being set up. Yeah, we're being played. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think once again, I think it's part of the divisiveness, or the divisiveness, if that's what the proper way to say that. I think it's part of that. They want to keep us at each other, because while we're fighting each other, we're two guys get in the UFC ring and beat the living shit out of each other for the enjoyment of all the rest. Yeah, the witch's brew stuff. Yeah, for me. That's the simple part of it. And or the enjoyment or the money making. Like, think about it. Two guys hammering each other. I did the mixed martial arts. It was a lot of fun. I didn't get paid. But somebody's making money, somebody's getting entertained. So when we're doing this to each other, there's something. If nobody gave a shit, nobody would care. Bread and circuses, yeah. Ever since, like I'm like it's gotten to the. Remember when the UFC was too violent? Remember, like it was, and then so obviously. The bald-headed aliens that run the planet right now, because they can't get our hair right. I'm joking, of course. I'm just joking. But all of a sudden now it's accepted. But there was a time when it was too violent. It was too much. It was over the top. Like football's boring. If you can remember the movie Last Boy Scout, they're changing the channel. Like, what's it going to take? We have to extricate ourselves from this script, or else it's going to get worse. Hunger Games. What was that Japanese thing or Chinese thing? And I can't remember. There was only one person left. I can't even remember. Some stupid thing on the internet. Yeah. Yeah, drink your Mountain Dew. Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I thought, speaking of wonderful health, like Mountain Dew and all that good stuff to drink. I love Mountain Dew. Don't get me wrong. Mountain Dew was, I remember when it was unavailable in Canada. And when my parents went to Plattsburgh or whatever down in New York, and they would bring back like one or two big bottles of Mountain Dew, and my brother and I would go fucking nuts. I mean, probably one of the worst things to drink on the planet, but oh, is it ever good? But there again, I'm disappointed that from all the talk, that the FDA and all the RFK, FDA, it rhymes, and then all of a sudden, I'm sure it was just one of these. You want to see the video of was it his cousin or his uncle? I don't know how they're connected. Been too much time, but you want to see the video? I'm sure these people are getting phone calls right now. Really? Do you really want to go down that road? Because remember, there's people who are playing for keeps, right? Uncle Jack, yeah. Yeah. Even, yeah, the Kennedy thing, like I would hope that Atlantic City. Oh yeah, the UFC. Yeah, it was completely, yeah, and then it took over. But yeah, like there'll be something else soon. It'll probably take I don't know, a generational, I think a generation has to die. Like there's still some sane people out there. Like I think my generation has to go bye-bye. Anybody 50 over, once we're all dead, then the next, I don't know, and I'm not saying taking away from you guys if you're in your 30s, you might not think like, yeah, I think, public sacrifice will be okay. It's happening right now in certain countries right around the world in these theaters that we've got going on. But when they start televising it and people start cheering it, that's going to get, because we do have those people that are like, well, they deserved it. Really? They got thrown into a meat shredder. Yeah, well, wasn't anybody I know. Okay. Ugh. But back to the JFK thing. I hope the big T-Man made the Made game. Yeah. There's been some pushback on that. But the JFK, I hope he does release the files. But he said that thing on the Joe Rogan show. Well, we can't really release the files because there's some people still alive. Fuck them. You know what? once again, let the chips fall where they may. You know, move to North Korea if you think everybody's going to come and get you. And I'm just making that funny. There's probably some place on the planet they can hide. You know, we should have a criminal country. Well, we did. It was a continent, but then we let other people move there because it was warm or something. So, you know, can't we pick something like Bikini Island or somewhere where there's a lot of nuclear waste and Holocaust, and then we can just send them all down there, and they can just like escape from New York? There you go. Put a wall. You know, I'm just joking, of course, because I like my daughter's in New York, so I don't want to see the wall go up. But you know, pick a spot. Yeah, you can all go there. All go there, and we're not going to do anything. Give you our word. And you know, and then we can have cameras and watch them eat each other. You know, that I would go for that. Yeah. Yeah, there's no accountability now. Well, you can look at our justice system or our legal system or whatever you want. You know, lawfare. Like, did that term even exist before like the last couple decades? What? You want to use the law to? Oh, what a great idea. We'll make a law so we can use it against our enemies. Wow. You know, there has to be a change of the way we do business. Anybody, you know, I'm sure there's good people out there, you know. It's like the story you always hear about the good cop who was a good guy, and he was a good guy in high school, and you know, he didn't drink baby's blood, and he was altruistic and whatever, or she was, and then she got caught up, or he got caught up in the system, and then they became Satan. Now, I'm sure. Hey, Retro. I was imagining you watched the UFO hearings this morning. I'm sure that there are those people still, and I hate to see them get caught up in this bad script. But the whole script needs to change. It needs to be just shredded, and I don't know. I see, but then again, I don't have the answer. I have my own inklings of how it should be. We should be nice. There should be accountability. You know, we should be minding our own garden and not somebody else's garden. You know, worrying about our own thing, not over there. But that's part of the script, see? So that's why I think that we need a whole new script. Now, the way I see it is like a couple of good asteroid impacts, a solar flare, and something really big like some supernova go off, and we get irradiated with gamma radiation, and we start from scratch. You know, I don't know. That would be my solution, because it would be fair. You know, Night of the Comet. You know, with Mary Catherine Stewart and Robert Beltran, Kelly Maroney. You know, start over. I don't know. Fred Flintstone, Sticks and Stones. I don't know. 'Cause this script is shit, and it's not working. But it's you know, the best one we have. Seems to be working for some. You know, in my little Canadian bubble of power lights, water, heat, food in my fridge. You know, I've got 3 different kinds of cookers over here, laptop, coffee. How would I be if all this was gone? Just like that. I would like to think that I would, let the chips fall where they may, and I would hope that my cheese would not come off the cracker, and I'd be a viable person to go forward. But then again, it would have to be like-mindedness. Like we always hear about, oh, the alien invasion, we're all going to come together. Carol Rosen, Werner von Braun, all that shit. Okay. Like in Oblivion. But he was oblivious. Ha ha ha. Oblivion. Ha ha ha. We lost the war, or we won the war, but we lost the planet. The fake alien invasion, and then we all band together to get rid of our own, and then we're just put into a new system of some totalitarian thing, you know, now we're real xenophobes. I don't know. Because then it would be alien hate, right? We just transfer it over to something else. You know, they're coming for our women. You know, protect the water. Yeah, 60. It all changed 60 years ago. Funny enough, somebody mentioned, because we have some situations here with some criminality in our small town. We've got some homelessness that's trying to be addressed, and we have no place for these people to go. And I'd been reading an article, and somebody in some of the, it was either there was a video, an article talking about the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and that not like right around when you and I were born, Archie, because we're over 60, I think. Anybody over 60, around 63 and everything like that, when Kennedy signed something, so we got rid of all of the insane asylums. I'll just use that term, okay? Because I'm just use that term. And then we parsed it off to another entity, and then it was designed to fail. And now we find ourselves here today, where, and I look at, and somebody was talking about One Flew, because Hollywood is a propaganda medium, right? So One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, we're all supposed to feel bad about the one guy who got lobotomized. Great movie. Don't get me wrong. Love the movie. You know, Juicy Fruit. Absolutely love that movie, but a propaganda piece. Oh, you know, horrible Nurse Cratchit, and because that's where all the shit goes on, and then maybe some of them were good, but now there's none. There's nowhere for anybody to go, and we've pitted society against each other. Not including the people who are out there on the street, but now we've got the people in the system who are battling back and forth as to what to do with these people. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Running for the shelter of your mother's little helper. Yeah, they want us medicated. Oh, give them all lithium. They'll be fine. I don't have the answer, but like, we need a place for these people to go. And there is no place. Like, once again, like, my answer is the wrong answer, but like, there was a place. Yes, of course. We could argue the death penalty thing. Well, what happens if we kill one innocent person? It happens. I don't have that answer. That's fucking horrible. And I'm sure that they used like when my buddy got put in the insane asylum, mental ward of a place because his parents caught him smoking marijuana in the 70s, and they checked him in. So they used the system not appropriately, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. What did Rorschach say? An abattoir of screaming children or something. Oh man. And I'll say no. Because right now you've got all the people, the system believers, that are like, what's going on? You got to do something. What's going on? And they're waiting for the answer. Yeah. Star Chamber? Magnum Force? Frig. Insane. We are living in an open air insane asylum. And we've got the willing players, the willing dupes, listen, man, I was in the system and I drank the Kool-Aid hard and heavy. I was over there in the sandbox drinking that Kool-Aid by the gallon. Blah, 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 blah. And my buddy and I, we were just like, because he was a Catholic, staunch Catholic, and we were just, because that is where I had my awakening. That's where I had my awakening, was in that sandbox. Something wasn't right. Because when I saw it, I was like, holy fuck. Something ain't right. You know, and then I went crazy. You know, because then, you know, everything just came crashing. My whole world came crashing down. My whole fucking world came crashing down because everything that I was led to believe was wrong and not true, and I'd been lied to wholesale. You know, that's why I love being a diver. I'll just get underwater because you're your own person. The chief can't yell at you when you're underwater, and he can't spout off his bullshit. I'll just do my job until I couldn't do my job anymore, and then I went completely bonkers. You know, I was slated for Afghanistan. I'm glad I got out before that. You know, I'm not going to argue the pros and cons of Osama bin Laden or anything like that. I'm just because I know that would have spelled doom for me. Absolutely, would spelled doom for me, for my psychology. I don't fucking physical body. I don't care about for you know, but for this, yeah, I think I would have gone bonkers. Would have gone bonkers. You know, so I'm glad. I feel bad for anybody that was so hard done by, and that's I look at a lot of guys that are suffering from PTSD right now, and guys that I know, and people ask me about it, and I tell them, I said, when good men see enough bad shit and realize they've been duped, yeah, their cheese comes off the cracker. Now you've got to find a way to get it back on in some relatively sane, normal manner. That's why you'll see a lot of vets who medicate, alcohol, drugs, whatever. Some don't make it. Some just, you know, just decide to take the way out that they figure is the best way out. Not going to argue that. Everybody that I know that was in the theater, unless they're still drinking the Kool-Aid hard and heavy, and I mean drinking it to the point where you've made that choice where you're just going to keep drinking it, that they've had their cheese come off the cracker, and some are not doing well. Some are not doing well at all. You know, they swallow it in, they hide it, they bury it or whatever. I can't bury it. It has to come out, or else I'll get sick. So, you know, I feel bad. It's just terrible. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. You know, where's the USS Fire Extinguisher? Where's the USS Consequence? It's supposed to come over here and, you know, fix all this shit. We have to do it for ourselves somehow. I don't know what it's going to take. I know that, you know, love him or hate him, that the T-Man, even if he had, if he could fix it, you know, or our next prime minister in Canada, can he fix it? Or the next person is going to be leading the UK, can they fix it? Or the Sandbox, or this guy, or that guy, because they're all still beholden to the system that we've got right now and this script, which is fucked and needs to be changed. If we were to look at what's his name in Libya, Gaddafi, you know, he's going to unite Africa in some kind of gold dinar, and he was going to make a new sit. No, he's not. No, he's not. It's over. You know, I'm not arguing that system. I'm just saying that something bigger has to happen. Really big. Huge big. Big. Enormously big. And I hope you're right, Shadow, that something is coming. I feel it. I do feel there's something coming, but I've been saying that for 10 years. You know, maybe it's a long time coming. Maybe, you know, it's like we always say, Norway, yeah, the Outlander. Like we say in the 12-step program, you need to hit your bottom. Everybody's bottom's different. That's the problem. But you need, for me to get clean and sober, I had to really be on my knees, you know, at the bottom of the barrel. Something has to change, or else this my script isn't going forward. So, and that's what it was. So, you know, so much to go through. Anyway, I just totally off topic, but yeah, the UF hearings, I watched them this morning. They were fun. Not all of them, but I did watch some of it. Aqua Tofana. Yeah, don't be silly. Uh, I didn't even get into Trump's cabinet picks, but we'll see. Let's see how the next month goes between the changeover. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You need to awaken in here, and just with a little bit of tempered with this. You know. Yeah. It's great. I always love having these shows. I didn't even get into a lot of stuff, but it's not important. Not important. I let the I'm just gonna start letting it flow and see how it goes from there. It seems to work a bit better. You know, I had some subject matter, but you know, there has to be a change of script. We know that. We know that. Everybody in this room knows that. How that's going to come to play, I don't know that, but I know that if there is a change of script coming, we need to be malleable and we need to be ready, and you need to be able to move and need to be discerning too. Because don't forget, there's going to be people wanting to impose their script, right? We're human beings, man. You know, unless the sun barfs out some kind of new energy or frequency and changes us all, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wow, what, ho, boy, do I have it wrong, and then we'll go from there. But let's always hope for that. So next Wednesday, what is next Wednesday? My dad's birthday? No, coming up soon, so I got to remember that. He's going to be 84, 83. Forget my dad's age. That's sad. Yeah, next Wednesday, I don't see there being a problem being a show. So hopefully everybody can come out again, and we'll see you again. We'll talk about some more stuff. You know, I could go through my notes over the last year, and holy shit, man. But I thank you guys for coming out. I thank you for all your comments. I thank you for everything. I thank you for getting me out of my own brain too, and saying something like, "Oh, I didn't know that." You know, wow, okay. And then challenge it, please. Yes, rebuke me if I say something wrong or I say something completely heinous. Please, you know, yeah. Stay well, people. Stay well. You know, I wish you well too. I wish you well. I just got a call this morning from a fella. He's struggling. He's struggling hard with and he wants to be off the sauce. And that's what we need to concentrate, you know, on our fellow man. And we need to help each other, because if I help you, you help me. It's all a part and parcel. If we fuck each other over, it's not good. It's not good. So thank you so much for coming out, man. I really do appreciate it. And I thank you for all the good comments. Okay. Peace to you and yours. And next Wednesday. And as always, same bad time, same bad channel. And peace, love, and grooviness.